Hello, everybody. If you are new to the group, each week Molly and I present a word, and this word is intended to be a guide for meditation practices, journaling practices, or simply contemplation and discussion. And the word for this week is manipulation. Now, this word has already gotten a lot of attention. I think it's a pretty strong word, and there's a lot of negative feeling around manipulation. And for me, as a green, my personality type is prone to emotional manipulation. So playing the role of the martyr, like a poor me kind of mentality, or feeling like other people are controlling me because of my difficulty in standing up for myself when I was younger. And so my efforts were to catch myself trying to make people feel guilty or obligated to do something for me because of all of the favors and nice things that I do for people, and also getting that sympathy from people for being in a difficult position and really leaning into that feeling. So as I've learned more about my personality, as I've learned more about the IMR system and my green nature, I've been able to move back from some of those auto behaviors, those triggered and auto response behaviors, and really see them for what they are and take more accountability for my place in things and present my needs and my desires in a more upfront, direct manner, so that I can learn how to communicate what I need instead of relying on that kind of emotional manipulation. So for me, manipulation has a very personal feeling. But what I wanted to talk about this week is I think it's so relevant in the world right now with social media and news organizations and YouTube and videos that exist in all kinds of formats, and literary pieces that exist in all kinds of formats. There really is a strong sense of manipulation for me, that I know that those organizations, whether they're huge international news organizations or simply one person presenting information that might be contrary to what's out there in the news, and trying to make a name for themselves in that place. So no matter whether it's a large organization or one person, you have to be really careful when you're looking at information, when you're taking in information, and definitely with what you're doing with that information. So no matter whether it's a big organization or a government or one person or a group of people, you really need to look at their motivation. What is their intention behind presenting this information? And when it comes to big organizations, the intention is very clear. They want your attention, they want your time. That leads to advertising dollars. The more you're listening to them, the more power they have. So for news organizations, that shock and awe, those soundbite pieces of information that are easy to listen to, easy to digest, and easy to repeat are definitely part of that manipulation of how we're seeing the world. And it's important to look at the information you're getting, process that information on a personal level, maybe discuss it with some trusted people in your life, and get down underneath some of those soundbite pieces. Get down underneath some of those issues that are easy to take a polar opposite side on, and really look at what's going on. Really look at what those organizations are intending and what messages they're sending and what that's doing to you when you go out into the world and repeat those sound bites and repeat those ideas in their very simplified, easy to digest presentation. So most things, like I've spent a lot of time in my life as a board member for different organizations and in leadership positions in different organizations. And my understanding of that kind of role is that if you're really interested in something, if something is really a passion for you, and you spend your time and energy developing, processing, and acting on those those parts of the world that you're involved in, that you're specifically involved in, so you have a leadership role and you can make a difference, that has so much power to move communities, to move people, that's really where our power lies. Any of us can have 100 different sound bites from 100 different places, whether it's extremist or middle of the road. No matter which side you're on, it's easy to memorize and process 100 little sound bites and just regurgitate that information. And I don't care if it's from a big organization or one person that you're following, that when things are broken, when things are presented in that kind of fashion where it's just a little sound bite and a very simplified version of information, maybe one-sided version of information, it's very easy to repeat that, and most of the time all it does is divide. That when you dig down into processes, when you dig down into what's really going on, the complexity and the reality of those situations are much deeper, and the truth of those situations lies somewhere in the middle of those polarized ideas. And that when we take that time to look at what we're being fed, look at what we're being presented, and really discuss those things amongst our friends and our peers and our community members, that's where real connection and growth and learning exists. And that's where the potential for change exists, not in sound bites and name calling and some of the more destructive stuff that happens, because all of us have that ability to be manipulated by the information that's coming down to us. It's very easy to take that information on and spit it right back out into the world. So part of what we're doing here is looking deeper at each one of these words, looking deeper at what we're experiencing, what we're hearing, what we're processing, and build a community of people who can have those kinds of deeper conversations. That most of these polarized issues have some place in our personal lives, which is why we listen to them, why we talk about them. And if we really wanted to make a change, that change comes from participating in organizations that are involved, linking up with people who have dedicated their lives to those things, and really learning the deeper intricacies of those specific topics and making a change on that level. And if each one of us had something we were passionate about, that ability to make a change based on that passion is so much more real and so much more powerful than just having vague understandings of lots of things and spitting out those sound bites and creating and perpetuating those devices that divide us. So that's my feelings today, and my thoughts and my contemplation and journaling and meditation on manipulation. It has a personal place for me in my emotional life, and it definitely, I can feel a bigger message here when it comes to manipulation. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments, and thank you for showing up today.